SecTor's here with Allison Miller, Senior Product Manager for Security and Privacy at Google, who's been keynoting today, talking about what it takes to win at cybersecurity. One of the things you talked about quite a lot in your keynote talk, Allison, was the idea of models and how they can be used as a platform for winning. So could you just elaborate on the models that you were discussing?
Sure. I went through 3 different types of models, because model means different things depending on who you're talking to. The first type of model I talked about was threat modeling, which I think will be familiar to a lot of folks who have done application security. But there's different things that you can do with threat modeling in order to make your systems more secure, and also different approaches to it. The second thing I talked about was choice modeling or choice architecture, which is really around how you frame potential choices that users of your system might make in order to lead them to better security or privacy outcomes for them. And the last type of modeling that I talked about is behavioral modeling, which is really behavioral analytics and the types of technologies that are used to develop those types of decisioning systems that end up getting implemented either in software or as part of our analysis practice as practitioners. And sort of overarching all of that was this idea that we can employ models to really kind of reframe how we approach security, but also to reframe how we think of success and how we pursue success and winning.
And so, I mean, is there a way that we can use these 3 models in a sort of complementary way? How can we use them in concert with each other?
Absolutely. So threat modeling is really about what can go wrong, what are the threats, but also where might the points of vulnerability be. Choice modeling is how can we make sure that users or folks who are at the point of making some kind of security or privacy decision are defaulting to the right and safest path. And then behavioral analytics is really about the system being able to decide. So certainly I think all of them inform each other, because the points where you have users make decisions or provide information would probably be a result of what the threat model is relevant to the application they're in or the scenario that they're in.
So how do these models, especially the analytics model, change the skill sets that we need for security analysts and security professionals?
I feel like it will be useful for cybersecurity folks to understand how behavioral analytics works. They don't necessarily need to build it all themselves. I actually think that what will happen is the industry will catch up and be providing the right tooling so that not everybody has to be a data scientist in order to leverage data science. That said, right now, I think that because there's a lot of misunderstanding about where it's most useful and how it works, folks can't evaluate the claims of the products and tools that they're looking at, where something like machine learning is being highlighted as a feature. So I think we should know enough to be good consumers of machine learning tools. And so the skill set, though, I think is still going to, what cybersecurity folks are good at is kind of picking out patterns of good versus bad behavior, of building protections and defenses into software and making sure that security is operating the way that it's expected to operate.
Excellent. Allison, it's been great having you at the show. Thanks so much for coming along.
Thank you for having me out here. It's been great to see Toronto.